Human Resources Annual Update, Ms. Selby.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
How's our human resource team today?
We are awesome. Mr. Chairman, members of the board, Dr. Casey, thank you for the opportunity to present Human Resources FY22 annual report. I have with me today Kristi Brittle and Candace Lackey. They're on the front row there. They will be co-presenting with me today. FY22 was a challenging year for most employers. As we all sought to recruit and retain the best and the brightest, the number of vacant positions continued to outpace the available workers. This resulted in employers implementing cutting-edge initiatives to remain relevant in the post-pandemic labor market. Chesterfield is no different in that we had to face similar job market challenges. However, under this board's leadership and our county administrator's direction, we faced these challenges head-on and provided our employees with incentives that were important to them, including pay adjustments, enhanced leave benefits, career development opportunities, work-life balance initiatives, and much more. Because we know when we take care of our employees, they will take care of our citizens. So today we will provide you with an overview of HR's programs and services delivered in support of our workforce for FY22. But before we begin the presentation, a few comments about the Human Resources Department. HR has 29 employees that make up our 5 core HR teams: employment, compensation and benefits, administration, employee relations, and human resource information systems. The team works hard to stay abreast of industry standards through professional development opportunities. Many of our HR staff hold HR certifications, professional designations, and advanced degrees. Another major division of HR is the Employee Medical Center, which has 10 staff members, including 1 physician and 4 nurse practitioners, along with 2 LPNs and medical support staff. The county is very fortunate to have a very highly trained and dedicated team of HR and medical professionals who are committed to taking care of our workforce. And as the HR director, I'm very proud of each and every one of them. So, how do we attract and retain quality employees? We strive to offer competitive pay and benefits. As you know, the county launched phase 1 of the pay study for general government employees in May of this year. And we also funded special salary adjustment increases in response to rising starting salaries in the region for our sworn public safety personnel. We also funded the first step increase under the new public safety pay plan. Another important issue for employees in both the public and private sector is maintaining a good work-life balance. The county continues to put programs in place to assist employees with maintaining a better work-life balance, and you'll hear more about these initiatives later during the presentation. At this time, I will turn it over to Candace, who will bring information about ways we recruit.
Good afternoon.
Thank you, Mary. Good afternoon. So this slide is a visual representation of the many outreach and partnership efforts that the county has participated with to market Chesterfield as an employer of choice. The center picture is from an HR organized event that was hosted at Virginia State University called A Day at VSU. Chesterfield was the only employer present, with a focus on engaging with the students to build relationships and to engage the students in learning about Chesterfield and our employment opportunities. We were pleased that 13 county departments participated in this event. 2 board members attended, Mr. Carroll and Mr. Holland. This was the largest singular effort of a Chesterfield job fair. So this slide is a snapshot of our recruitment and talent acquisition numbers for fiscal year 22. There was an increase in job advertisements and a decrease in applications processed. This is a direct reflection of the current labor market shortage. There are fewer qualified individuals that are seeking employment, which resulted in the hiring departments experiencing difficulty in filling their positions. This resulted in re-advertisement of numerous job opportunities. For the first year, salary is represented on the top 3 reasons why applicants selected Chesterfield as a place to work. We attribute this change to the county's focus in reviewing pay relative to the market. This chart shows the percentage of full-time promotions filled internally by current county employees. The county continues to provide professional development opportunities for employees to advance their careers, such as career development plans and the Learning and Performance Center programs and services. This slide summarizes the pre-employment and promotion transfer applicant clearance processes that the county requires to ensure that our employees meet certain standards to be a public servant, which includes drug testing, an FBI criminal background check, and an education verification. And with these applicant clearance processes, less than 1% result in disqualification from employment. I am now going to turn it over to Kristi to highlight the ways that we reward.
Thank you, Candace. Good afternoon. This first slide represents our career development plans. Career development plans have been extremely important in our compensation program here in the county. And the goal is to increase retention and enhance the employee's level of expertise, thus providing an opportunity to advance professionally by developing new skills and competencies without employees leaving their job. This not only provides benefits to the employee, but to the county as well. The number of department-specific career development plans continues to grow. In FY17, we had 49 career development plans, department-specific. You can see that number has increased to 150, so triple since then. And nearly 2/3 of our workforce has access to a CDP. And you can also see that our number of countywide CDPs has grown as well. And these were developed for positions that exist in multiple departments, and we now have 40 countywide CDPs countywide. This year, both the average and the median salary of our employees increased. Our average salary increased by 14.3% and median salary by 17.2%. And we attribute these increases directly to the implementation of Phase 1 of the General Government Pay Study, as well as adjusting the pay studies of the Public Safety Step Pay Plan. And although the number of employees below midpoint did go up, it's important to note that the pay ranges did increase substantially as well. So to wrap up the compensation piece, this slide shows a timeline of the joint pay studies that have been undertaken by the county and schools since 2020. Sworn public safety, teachers, and other school-based positions were conducted first, followed by the remaining general government employees and schools positions not included in the initial studies. Full implementation is planned in the near future. And we do appreciate the board's support in helping to bring our salaries up to market in order to remain competitive in the region and to retain our current employees. This next slide is about our health and dental benefits. And while we do partner with Chesterfield County Public Schools on these contracts, the information you see here is just representing county employees, our retirees under age 65, and our former employees with COBRA benefits. The county spent nearly $42 million in health care in FY22, and out of those expenses, the county paid about 69% and employees paid about 31% of that. We have currently 2 plans available for employees and eligible retirees, the Luminos High Deductible Health Plan, as well as the HealthKeepers POS 25. The average cost per subscriber across all county plans is $11,250, and that's between the county and the participant. However, for the Luminos plan, the average cost does tend to be less because the employee bears more of the cost of the covered services. And members in the Luminos plan also tend to be younger and have lower utilization of the plan. And participation in that plan has grown 8% over the last 5 years. We've actually created a class for employees that compares the two plans to help them understand the difference so that when it's time for open enrollment, they can make better informed decisions about that. And for the rest of this calendar year, projected healthcare expenses for the county and schools combined is estimated to be around $133 million. This slide shows our healthcare rates for next year. And regionally, while other employers in the area are seeing an increase of about 8%, we were actually able to use a one-time savings to buy down our increases, so that our increase was about 5.3% overall. But it's important to note that to prepare for being able to enroll employees, new employees, into their benefits effective as of their hire date, which we're going to start doing that next year, to prepare for that, we're changing our process so that we're deducting during the current month instead of a month in advance. That's allowing us to give our employees a premium holiday in the month of December for health and dental insurance premiums. So that means that's actually offsetting the increase. The savings from December will offset their increase for next year. So that's good to know. Our first responders potentially face experiencing a traumatic event every time they put on their uniform. In an effort to support them and their mental wellness, we partnered with Public Safety Leadership as well as Guidance Resources, our EAP provider, to identify local mental health care providers who are experienced with the unique needs and demands of public safety employees and their families. Employees in public safety may request to speak to one of these vetted professionals for confidential, no-cost help with the assurance that the person they're connected with understands the challenges they face as public safety professionals. The pictures you see here, the pictures on the top of this slide show the fitness room that's located, or some of the fitness rooms located at the Eames Pittman Public Safety Center, and these rooms are available to public safety employees. However, with the assistance of the county administrator, the deputy county administrators, human resources, and general services, we're actually able to convert space in the community development building to a new fitness room specifically for non-public safety employees, and that's what you see depicted in the bottom picture. Since we opened the room, there have been about 400 employees who have been granted access to that room. And in the future, we hope to offer some additional options, including creating a workout option outdoors with outside fitness equipment available. So at this time, I would like to take the opportunity to introduce our new wellness coordinator, Caleb Kelleher. Caleb is a CCPS employee, but serves as wellness coordinator for both the county and the schools. And we're excited to have Caleb with us, and I look forward to working with them moving forward as we look to bring new energy into our wellness program. So welcome aboard, Caleb. Moving on to the Employee Medical Center, the EMC provides services to both county and school employees. So on this slide, you're going to see numbers for both. So by our employees using the EMC instead of going to their primary care physician or to an urgent care center, we avoided over $820,000 in claim costs in FY22. To calculate this, we used the fair market value of an urgent care visit, estimated about $175 per visit. So this saves the county money, it also saves the employee, and it can help reduce time away from the job for the employees due to the location and efficiency of the Employee Medical Center. You can see we still had a substantial number of COVID cases or COVID visits during FY22. We also had over 1,000 wellness visits and nearly 1,400 physical exams. The EMC also administered flu shots to employees, retirees, and their spouses, as well as other vaccines, TB skin tests, and drug and alcohol tests. Earlier this year, we hired a new physician at the Employee Medical Center, so now I'd like to introduce you to Dr. Timothy Silver. Dr. Silver comes to us with a wealth of medical training and experience, and we're excited to have him join our team as well. So welcome, Dr. Silver. Looking at our retirements from last year, we did see a decrease in the number of retirements from 112 in FY21 down to 69 in FY22. One of the reasons we feel this happened is because employees who may have been planning to retire, they've decided to delay their retirement so that the pay adjustments, either from the Public Safety Step Plan or the Phase 1 pay study implementation for general government employees, will have an impact on their retirement. And this is actually great for the county as we're able to retain more employees and keep that much institutional knowledge in the workforce just a little bit longer. You can also see in FY22, a little over 37% of our service retirements were for supervisors and above, and we have 361 employees who will be eligible for full retirement benefits by July of next year. Continuing to look at retirement and deferred compensation, Chesterfield County does offer two different deferred compensation plans. One is with Empower Retirement, and that's available to all employees. And then we also have Mission Square, but that's only available to employees who are enrolled in the VRS Hybrid Plan. We do have excellent participation at 61%, where the national average is 58%. And we do partner with Empower Retirement often to assist employees as they prepare for retirement, and we help also work with them on ways to enhance the participant experience through their website. Looking at our leave utilization, during the pandemic, employees just weren't using leave, and we did not apply the maximum carryover limits at the end of calendar year 2020 or 21. But this year, we did see an increase in the number of leave days being used by employees, so it does appear employees are finally back to using their leave. And we want that. We want employees to take time with their families, take time away from work so that they can de-stress and focus on their own well-being. We do continue to see employees migrate from the traditional leave plan to the PTO plan. We've actually made that a little bit easier, and they can make the change at any time instead of waiting for a specific enrollment period. And we currently have over 3/4 of our full-time employees that are on the PTO leave plan. So because we waived the maximum carryover limits, and we're going to waive them one more time at the end of this year, we've implemented a leave balance countdown clock on our Human Resources website. This way, employees know exactly how long they have to make sure to get their leave balances down. We do encourage them to work with their supervisor to come up with a plan to make sure that they can get their leave balances down by this countdown clock. And you can see as of November 4th, they had 426 days left to get their leave down. So this slide depicts two of our different leave programs here at the county, paid parental leave and leave donations. Paid parental leave was implemented in January of 2020, and it continues to be a very popular leave program. Nearly half of the leave in FY22 was for bonding leave, and that's time for the non-birthing parent to bond with their newborn child. Second to that was elder parent leave. So that's time that they can take to take their parents to doctor's appointments, maybe treatments such as physical therapy or chemotherapy. And we've actually had some employees who have taken time to spend with their parents who've gone into hospice care. So I can only imagine what a comfort that has been to employees to have that time with their parents at the end of their life and not have to worry about work. You also see here we have the maternity leave, but in addition to paid maternity leave, you only see that's only 24%. There are other leave programs available for the birthing parent. Moving on to leave donations. In FY22, our employees donated 4,480 hours of leave to their fellow employees. That's 560 days, a 70% increase over the prior fiscal year. And nearly half of those hours were donated to employees who needed leave for their own personal use. The next highest usage was for the employee's family member. Also, occasionally there will be situations that come up that don't quite meet the policy requirements for traditional donated leave. So we wanted the ability to review those on a case-by-case basis. So earlier this year, we actually expanded our leave donation program to include emergency donated leave. So we have the ability to look at those cases one by one. And we want to commend the generosity of our employees who are willing to give away their leave to help others. Lastly for me is our voluntary benefits. Over the years, employees have expressed an interest in being able to sign up for voluntary benefits. So we recently surveyed the workforce to find out what types of benefits they're most interested in, and we've just started to get those results back in. So our plan is to analyze the results of the survey and use that information to issue an RFP through procurement for those services, and we hope to have something in place by July of 2023. So I'm going to turn it back over to Candace to talk about the ways we retain.
Thank you, Kristi. So employee satisfaction is a critical factor in the overall success of any organization and is key for employee retention. So as you can see, the county offers many opportunities for employees to remain engaged and satisfied. Telework has played a huge role in the recruitment and selection of those positions that had the capability to work a hybrid telework schedule. Career development plans, as Kristi mentioned, have been a great tool for employee engagement, allowing employees to have a roadmap and action plan to grow personally and professionally. I also want to take the opportunity to briefly discuss our summer paid internship program. We had 19 college students that participated in the 2022 summer internship program. During the 10-week program, students worked in several county departments, and they utilized their academic knowledge and skills with the opportunity to gain real-world experience in public service. This internship program allows employees to mentor future leaders and also develop future talent, and also to share their passion for local government work. The county provides numerous opportunities for employees to remain engaged and to feel valued. Keeping our employees satisfied doesn't just include the county, but also includes partnering with schools. This chart shows our current joint efforts and where the county and schools are currently aligned. Also, we have identified future opportunities to seek alignment across both entities. We look forward to the continued partnership and collaboration with schools. For fiscal year 22, the county traditional turnover rate is 13.5%, which is an increase from 11.4% for fiscal year 21. Traditional turnover includes all separations, both voluntary and involuntary. The actual turnover rate, which excludes probationary and retirement separations, is 7.6%, which is an increase from 6% in fiscal year 21. The voluntary turnover rate is 9.5%. That was an increase from 7% from fiscal year 21. And the involuntary turnover remained relatively stable. We have compared the county turnover rate with other localities, and 3 regional localities also saw an increase in their turnover rate. The increase in turnover rates across the region can be attributed to the current labor market, again, more job opportunities and fewer qualified applicants. We hope to see an improvement in our turnover rates for fiscal year 23 as a result of positive impacts from the compensation pay study. The county saw a slight increase in formal employee relations matters for fiscal year 22. In comparison to the size of our workforce, this number is relatively low. HR is very proud that we are able to manage the resolution of employee relations matters internally. HR is also thankful for the partnership with the County Attorney's Office, department leaders and managers who offer support in implementing proactive measures to maintain work environments that are free from discrimination and harassment. We will now take a look at the county workforce demographics. This chart is a reflection of the county's workforce demographics for fiscal year 22. There were no major changes in our workforce demographics. Workforce has remained stable. Although 63% of our workforce have the tools to telework, that doesn't mean that they all do so. This slide represents our workforce demographics by generation for full-time employees. We continue to have 5 generations in the workplace. The millennials and Generation X represent our largest employee population, representing 59% of our workforce. Although the millennials have the highest number of separations, this is not alarming, as the millennials age bracket is 25 to 45 years old. Individuals in this age range are either in the early stages of their careers and seeking the right job fit, or they are in the mid-career stage and seeking advancement opportunities. Each generation contributes to the valued diversity of our organization. The county will continue to devise staffing, retention, and employee satisfaction strategies to remain competitive in the labor market. So this chart displays a 5-year workforce demographics trend, which shows continued positive growth in the number of full-time minority employees in the workforce. For fiscal year 22, we had the largest increase in full-time minorities joining our workforce over this 5-year trend. And we believe this is due to our diversity and inclusion efforts and community outreach. I will now turn it over to Mary to conclude today's presentation.
So we've summarized for you today a number of facts and figures, along with many successes related to the workforce. We also discussed some opportunities for improvement, and we are committed to working on those. It's important to mention that over the past 2 years, when employers faced uncertainties with their workforces, county employees ranked Chesterfield County government as a top workplace in the Richmond region and nationally, as noted through employee surveys administered by independent third parties. This slide shows you the 4 national top workplace awards and the Richmond Region Top Workplace Award earned by the county since 2021. And while we are grateful to have received these prestigious awards, the fact that our employees enjoy where they work is really the greatest honor. Employee engagement is not just the business of the HR department. Human resources is a team sport, and we must all work together to recruit and retain a high-performing workforce. This slide shows you the county administrator's priorities as related to our workforce. During this presentation, we've shared the various initiatives HR has employed in support of his priorities, which include county and schools alignment on various HR programs and practices and our plans for future alignment, mental health wellness initiatives for our public safety, human services, and other professionals regularly exposed to high trauma events. Also, our commitment to the physical health and wellness of our employees through the Employee Medical Center and the fitness facilities for both public safety and general government employees. Our ongoing effort to recruit and retain quality employees. Our efforts to help grow that next generation of workers through our engagement with students in our schools, college internships, job shadowing, fellowships, and part-time employment opportunities. Of course, our public safety and teacher pay plans. And lastly, our joint county schools pay study that benefited so many of our unsung heroes. And speaking of our pay studies, tonight on your consent agenda, there is an agenda item to approve a 3rd amendment to the county administrator's contract. This is related to HR's annual review of salaries of certain direct reports to the board. In the countywide pay study, the county administrator was not included in the market review. And based on recently obtained market data, this 3rd contract amendment is coming before you tonight. This concludes HR's annual report presentation. Before we take questions, I'd like to ask the rest of HR's leadership team to stand to be recognized for the hard work they do each and every day.
Please stand up.
Liz Marker, Chief of Administrative Services. Laura Jensen, Practice Manager at the Employee Medical Center. Sarah Hackley, Employee Relations Manager. Courtney Heilman, Compensation and Benefits Manager. And Dr. Tim Silver, Physician, Employee Medical Center.
Thank you all so much for what you do. Let's give them a round of applause, please.
At this time, we are happy to try to answer any questions you may have.
Board members' questions. Just a couple things that come to mind. I think one of the things that went over very quickly, but enrolling employees in a healthcare plan when they start working is going to be such a draw for Chesterfield County. And this is what I would put in the argument that you all are doing the big things right and you're doing the little things right.
Thank
This
you.
sounds like a little thing, but it's such a big thing for people if they can start having health care right when they walk in to work. And I think that is the best idea, and, scratching my head wondering why we didn't do that, 10 years ago. But anyway, we're doing it now, and we're going to differentiate ourselves in the workplace. The other thing I think is a challenge, and that is getting our county and schools calendar for vacation and holidays to be in sync. And I know that's something we've talked about for many years, and I'm not, I'm not certain what I know we've had a little bit of progress, but
Yes.
hopefully we'll get the rest of that done in the next year and finally have everybody on the same page when it comes to vacation time. Just think that can be something that irritates people and maybe can, have an effect on morale in a way that maybe we wouldn't want. So I'll just throw that out there, but otherwise, I think this is just a fabulous department. Y'all are doing a great job.
Thank you, Mr. Winslow.
Mr. Carroll.
It just speaks to how humble they are. Not one of them want to stand up for more than 1.2 seconds. Like, no, I'm not standing up. I'm here.
Yeah, I
Sit
look
right-
back and they
I'm
were
gonna
all
sit right back
down.
down. Yeah, they do a great job. One of the things that stood out for me in the report had to do with the leave banks and the fact that we have employees that are having trouble actually utilizing all leave in a timely fashion. And a lot of that, at least from my indication and talking with public safety, has to do with the fact that minimum staffing, trying to meet minimum staffing, especially in the fire department and police department. And so I would hope that we can, with the new hires, get our staffing levels up so that we can make sure that our employees get their time off. But I would ask that, certainly all of our leadership teams work together with the employees to make sure that they can get the time off, because the one thing we're not making more of is time. And one of the best things we can do to help manage our employees, especially with mental health, is for them to have time away from work. I mean, everybody loves their job, but they also like spending time with their family and perhaps other recreational activities. So, and I think that's something we need to keep an eye on in the future, because what I would hate to see is to have employees lose leave because they couldn't get an opportunity to take it because we couldn't work staffing out. So I look forward to keeping an eye on that. Thank you.
And actually, Mr. Carroll, I have a meeting tomorrow with Mr. Harris and Mr. Durkin to actually talk about what options we may have to help address the leave balances. What other options?
Mr. Holland.
Yes, that's a very important point, the leave balances, because we want to make sure all employees have an opportunity to get away from the office, the desk, for a number of reasons, one of which is internal control. We'll be
Yes.
talking about
Yes.
our audit report tonight to make sure employees can get away from the office. That's an important function. One other question I have on the new Employee Fitness Center, what are the operating hours now that regular employees can use it in addition to public safety employees? Does anyone know?
7 to 7? 7 to 6? 7A to 6P.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
And they have access. If they signed up, they can swipe outside of the normal business hours.
Thank
To
you.
get in. Yes, sir.
Mr. Miller.
Just a quick question. I was curious to know, I know that when I worked for Chesterfield County, I had access to the workout facilities over at the Eames Pittman Building. Is there a plan to bring both fitness centers into parity?
Actually, there is. We are working on it. This was a first start, what we did over in the Community Development Building. We do, I don't know that we'll be able to do exactly what we have for the public safety employees. They do have very specialized equipment and processes, protocols. But yes, the goal is to grow our center bigger and better. It was a good first start, and we have actually allocated some funding to help us grow that center. Yes, sir.
Wonderful. Well, another round of applause for
Thank you.
HR, please. Thank you.